Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? We are keeping a close eye on that explosion at the U.S. steel plant there in Pennsylvania. It's a very serious situation. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'll just look up to the minute, okay? Because it's not good. Up to the minute, here we are. Let's see if we can find out exactly. There's one person dead, 10 people injured, one person now unaccounted for. People are trapped under the rubble. Emergency workers are on the site trying to rescue one worker believed to be trapped. The cause of the explosion is totally unknown. It's the Clarendon Coke Works, a massive industrial facility there just south of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. The cause of this explosion is still under investigation. The incident has involved 2 Coke oven batteries. Both batteries have been shut down. And so we're not sure what all this means, okay? But 1 dead, 10 injured. Don't know to the extent of the injuries. And 1 person still missing. So keep praying, because the first accounts we got was dozens were injured, okay? So, and maybe some were, but maybe that's what happens in the confusion of a fluid situation. So we're going to continue to pray. That is the latest on the explosion there in Pennsylvania. Let me just share with you something. The Paul Begley podcast, which comes out every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. everywhere, Spotify, Amazon, everywhere, Squawker, Squeaker, iHeartRadio, everywhere, and on the Paul Begley podcast channel. This week is a powerful interview, and I'm going to play some of it for you right now, and then it will go completely live. You'll be able to watch it. Matter of fact, there'll even be a chat room where you can be chatting at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, every Tuesday night, the Paul Begley podcast. And but you have to go to the Paul Begley podcast YouTube channel, and I put the link below the video so you can click on it, and it'll take you there. There's a lot of great interviews, This one here is fascinating with Clyde Lewis. And the Edward Snowden part of this with the alien disclosure is just a piece of this. But I mean, this podcast talks about everything. The Beatles, talks about 10 different subjects. Okay, pretty heavy. But let's just go now. I'd like to go now to the podcast. Let me get a better view here. No, that's better. Let's go right now, and let's listen to about 5 minutes of this. All right. It's got Paul Jr. in here, myself, and Clyde Lewis.
So with that though, while we're on the topic though, so learning a lot about whistleblowers and UAP coverages. Yeah. We're actually going to have a few of these guests coming on here. Lou Elizondo, coming up. He's going to be on the podcast with us. Good. It's hard to see though. I actually have this pulled up over here, the National Archives of Records related to UFOs, UAPs. You have to spend probably a whole month looking through the photographs on here and reading some of the, the verbiage and different articles that mostly the U.S. Air Force has pretty much been in charge of a lot of this. It's hard for me to see because a lot of media now is skewed. Well, most media now is skewed one way or the other, with certain agendas that they have. And then I get skeptical when you have people that come out in front and center, in front of Congress. I'm not saying specifically Lou, but a lot of guys that, have been
David Grush.
Yeah, David Grush. I think I brought that up when we interviewed Ryan Wood. I said, what do you think about David Grush? Do you think that he's a plant, or do you think he's real? Like, because it's just so hard to tell. I think even with some of the interviews that I've seen with Edward Snowden, I'm still convinced that he probably still works for CIA. So it's hard for me to kind of navigate that. I just wanted to see what your thoughts on that are, Clyde.
Well, I've had this feeling, Edward, it's funny you bring up Edward Snowden, because I remember when Edward Snowden made his revelations. I mean, we knew all along what he said. It's not like he gave us anything new, only that the media got a hold of it and talked about it. That's the whole thing, is that, you know, the media gets a hold of it, it becomes the thing. It becomes the talking point. People like Paul and everyone and me and maybe Alex Jones and a few others, we talk about this stuff too, but it doesn't get any airtime. It doesn't get any attention, only this conspiratory theory.
Sure.
And so, you know, when you're saying, oh, they're surveilling us, and in fact, the surveillance state has even gotten worse now with the big, beautiful bill. I don't know if you know that, but just the idea that the surveillance state and all that is real, and then he made it even more real, and then he got in trouble for it. Yeah. Now we got David Grush telling us, well, we got, you know, aircraft that we've reverse engineered and blah, 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 blah. Well, how long have we been talking about that since the Roswell thing? How long have we been talking about that with, you know, Area 51 and what's been going on at Area 51? And so it's nothing new.
Bob Lazar.
It's just that now, what's that? Bob Lazar, exactly.
That's how long we've been talking about this.
Bob Lazar a long time ago. Yeah, back in the 90s. Back in the 80s, he made the statements about Area 51, and then he had to go into exile because everyone was saying, oh, I don't know if he's real or not. See, that's the thing. Why are they going back to Bob? I mean, Bob could give them anything they wanted, and he's still, you know, active. He came out and talked again, but then now he's gone back into seclusion. So, I mean, I think he's probably afraid for his life, or he's afraid for something, but I don't know why. See, that's the problem, is that the mystery here, I believe there's something about it that's not just nuts and bolts. I think there's something. It's like what Jacques Vallée said. He said that, you know, the abduction experience, or the experience of seeing a UFO or seeing something you don't understand, is akin to a religious experience. In other words, trying to make the difference, or there's a difference between knowing it's something from God and knowing it's something from the devil, or knowing it's something from either or. And so it's hard to tell the difference, because, I mean, come on, think about it. Think about what the imagery is of the Bible. Think about what you read about with chariots of fire. I mean, what's a chariot? It's a vehicle. It's on fire. It's flying through the sky. It's not Santa Claus. No. You know, it's a chariot of fire. It's a whirlwind. What was Elijah's vehicle? It's a whirlwind, right? So you have these pillars of fire. You have these whirlwinds. You have these chariots of fire. You have Merkaba, which are these flying, lights that flew above, religious people. So, I mean, you can call it what you want, but I mean, and look, and if somebody was to come on TV, think about this. Think about an X-Files episode. Okay. Here's an X-Files episode. Fox Mulder and Scully are getting a phone call from some woman who says, I think I'm pregnant, but I didn't have sex. I think I got pregnant because a light came down and said, you're carrying this special baby.
Sure.
We'd laugh it off and say, that's not true. That's crap. That's nonsense. But no, it happened, right? We believe that it happened a long time ago somewhere. And
Mary, an angel came and said, you're going to have a baby, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, what do we do? I mean, these things happen, and then so we have a literary interpretation of these things. We have, what they saw and how they described it. Okay. And now as we've grown, as we've evolved in mental stature, we can understand that what was magic to them and miracles to them is kind of commonplace for us right now. I mean, once they see something that's indistinguishable from magic, magic still exists, but it's not really magic. It's just that it's something we don't understand yet.
I think what Clyde's doing a good job. He's trying to explain here, and he gets really deep into this, and then they go into some serious subjects that is incredible, really. But back in the day, when Elijah's chariot of fire took him into heaven, that's what they called it. Well, it looked like a chariot. It was some type of vehicle, is what he's saying, some kind of craft took Elijah into heaven. So if it's today, we would say it was some kind of a spaceship, because we have spaceships. In Elijah's day, they didn't have spaceships. They had chariots. So it was some kind of a chariot that went up with fire. In other words, we only can describe things based on the time that we're in, our time frame, or, our day. And so Edward Snowden, though, released some information, and then he got in trouble, but he released a lot of information, including some UFO disclosure information. We know Bob Lazar was one of the first, if not one of the absolute first, who had access to a lot of information. What does this all mean? Is this part of the grand delusion? When the Bible talks about that in the book of Thessalonians, during the rise of the Antichrist. My dad just called me. My dad just called me on the phone about 15, 30 minutes ago, just before I came on here. And he said, hey, Paul, where's the chapter of the mark of the beast? I said, it's Revelation 13. That's it, Revelation 13. I'm going to go read that again. I think I might preach on that Sunday. And I said, well, really? Why is that? He goes, because it's almost here. And people need to know what's going on. I said, go get them, Dad. Go get them. See, the delusion or the deception can be grand. There's a spirit of deception. It could be, and that's why Jesus kept saying, be not deceived. False Christ and false prophets will come, and they will deceive many. And there's all kinds of technology now. There's so much technology. And now we've got AI and we got deep fakes. I mean, they've got robots now that look human, that literally can make facial expressions, and their skin. Mike around the world said they've actually got human skin even. Certainly their skin can feel exactly like a human's. It's incredible. Facial expressions, conversations. AI brilliantly has been developed. And it can be a tool. You can use it as a tool for so many different applications and different jobs and different things that you may be involved in careers, all kinds of things, everything you can think of. But at the same time, people are going to start putting their faith in an AI Jesus. Well, what if a UFO is really an AI? What if an AI is really a fallen angel? What if we're dealing with transhumanism and artificial intelligence and mind control and microchips and brain implants and 666 and the rise of the Antichrist? All of this is incredible. So what I'm saying is, I just wanted to play about 5 minutes there of this broadcast, this podcast that airs tomorrow night at 6:00. The Edward Snowden files are in there. There's all kinds of incredible information on this podcast. You don't want to miss it. It's with Clyde Lewis and myself and my son, Paul Jr. It airs tomorrow night at 6:00. It will be premiered. There will be a chat room, and you can stay in there and enjoy the chat room. It's about a 90-minute interview or something like that. You can enjoy the chat room with everybody else. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night on the Paul Begley podcast channel. So I want to ask you to do something right now while you're watching this. Look below the video. Just click on the Paul Begley podcast channel. You'll see it right there. There it goes. It's just below the video. Click it. It takes you to the Paul Begley podcast channel. That way you'll know where the channel is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. We're trying our best to get as many people subscribed to that so that you can get this incredible content. It's some of the very fascinating interviews that we're doing just for the podcast. It's really interesting. We're covering, if you think about it, we'll talk about it. That was the line that God gave me. If you're thinking about it, we're going to be talking about it. Okay. So check it out. And you'll find out all about Edward Snowden. You'll find out all about the UFO disclosure. You'll hear what Clyde Lewis has to say, what Paul Jr. has to say, what I had to say. It's an incredible podcast. It is going to be amazing. God bless all of you. We're continuing to pray for the people in south of Pittsburgh from this U.S. Steel explosion. We're still praying for, there's so many things happening right now. There's so many areas. So please bring your prayer requests to Jesus Christ and pray ye one for another, because we're truly, absolutely living in the last days. God bless all of you.